Hey everybody, we are here live again. Pearlo dance, because the Eichel situation is done. That's pretty much what we're going to be talking about the whole time, right? Eichel. I did a video on it, just put it out a little while ago. You can check it out after it's done, or after you're done here. Hey Kyle, how you doing? So I'm not going to go say what I think about the trade. You guys tell me what you think about the trade first, and then I'll go on what I think about the trade. How do you think Buffalo did after all of this mess going on here? You think Buffalo got? A good value, considering the situation? Well, they don't need to trade anybody right now. He's on IR, so it doesn't go against the cap. So he doesn't need. They don't need to trade anybody away now. Oh, for the future. Well, they're doing a really good job of building cap room by having, Carlson's injured, Stone is injured, Pacioretty is injured. Yeah. Buffalo was going to lose the trade probably. I mean, Krebs is. It, well, by that time, there a lot of stuff is going to be paid out, and there'll be more cap room, right? Come the trade deadline and stuff like that. And in the playoffs, you just have to make sure that your team is under the cap that you're playing now. So I'm sure that'll be workable. They have Smith there, who is going to be an unrestricted free agent next year. But it appears that they don't want to get rid of anybody right now. So when he comes back, by the time he comes back, a lot of it, they're going to have a lot more cap room than they had before. And he'll probably fit under it. They'll just take as long as they are in the playoff race, they'll take their time with Stone and Pacioretty and tell them, just chill out for a while and don't worry about it. No hurry to come back right now. Yeah, and not only that was top 10 protected. So if it's in the top 10, it goes to the next year. Patch 7. Yeah, that's about reasonable for a cap. That's basically the way it is now in the cap world. Stone is 9.5. They're going for it this year for sure. Once it gets down to the trade deadline, Eichel's cap hit won't be the same as it is now because a lot of it will be paid out already. So is Stone, all of it. That's why teams have cap room at the trade deadline to add. I don't think they have to move anybody. Well, Smith they'll let go. They'll let Smith go. Next year is next year. I don't think they're going to worry about it too much. Smith is an unrestricted free agent, so they're going to keep it. They're just simply going to go for it this year. They'll actually probably even still have cap room come the trade deadline. And right now, if you go to Cap Friendly, it shows that they have $16 million in cap space. Because Tuck was already on the IR, but they have a whole bunch of guys on the IR. So that gives them $16 million of cap space. Now, when they come back, that uses up a bit of it. But as the season goes on, the cap space gets larger. Johnny Boychuk being to the Buffalo Sabres. What's that? What's that, John? Well, welcome in, by the way. Woo! Thanks for coming in. Like, I'm no cap expert, but what I get from it is that all these guys on the IR are saving them cap space in the long run. Eventually, they're going to have to rebuild. I get what they're doing, though. I get what they're doing. I get what they're doing. They wanted to make sure they were competitive, super competitive, like cup contender competitive for the first couple of years, because they're not in a traditional market. So that would suck the fans in for a while, and then they got to cross their fingers that they're going to stick around for the rebuild. The good thing about them is they have a very entertaining product anyways, but there will be a rebuild. There's no doubt about that, and it's probably going to be brutal. Johnny Boychuk traded to the Buffalo Sabres, so they did a cap space move. And by the way, Peyton Krebs was sent to the minors. He had 0 points in -6 in 9 games with Vegas. So he was sent down to the minors to, probably build his confidence up. He probably doesn't feel too good about himself that, those guys get injured and he wasn't even able to put up points. But it was weird because I thought that he looked pretty good in the games that I saw, but I didn't realize he had 0 points. So let me look that up for. Oh, Arizona Coyotes, I thought that might be the case. They claimed Scott Wedgwood off waivers, another bad goaltender for them to mess around with. New Jersey Devils recall Alexander Holtz. Holtz had 5 goals in 4 contests and registered 18 shots on net in the minors. So they're calling him up to give him a shot now. That's pretty cool. Like, that's going to be fun to watch next time. And so Sabres acquired Johnny Boychuk. Oh, that's right. They got to get to cap floor. Future considerations, that's it. So that's right. They have to get to the cap floor. That was the whole thing about losing Eichel. So I don't know if he actually brings them to the cap floor, but yeah, he got 5 goals in 4 games. Wedgwood is better than Hutton. Yeah, I would have to say. You could put X there. I'd say X is better than Hutton, though. Really any goaltender with, Dell, anybody really is better than Hutton. He was really bad. They're kicking themselves that they did that, I'm sure. He'd be happy to be there. Remember we said he's going to end up making an NHL salary somewhere? Sure enough. There's Wedgwood making an NHL salary still. Oh, really? So Krebs and Cousins played in junior, or played in, was it college? I didn't know that. Tuck won't be back till January, but they're not worrying about winning now. So when he comes back, again, I mean, they took on a risk too, right? Because that's a fairly significant injury he's coming back from. But that guy, as long as he's healthy, man, oh man, I love that. I love Tuck. We talked about that yesterday. Okay, so they played in junior. Well, that's perfect then. That'll make Cousins happy. Tuck or Krebs won't feel so bad that he has to go to Buffalo. At least he'll have a buddy there to hang out with whenever he gets up from the AHL. I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool. And that's probably one of the big reasons why they were so heavy on getting Krebs. Because they're trying to build a locker room there, right? Something that they haven't had for a very long time. And having buddies like that will help out. It also helps out with contracts and stuff like that in the future. If you got two really good friends playing together, they don't want to leave. So, yeah, I thought it was a really good move. I think Tuck is a very good power forward, very, very good. I understand why Vegas did it, because Eichel will be amazing on that top line, though. Oh my gosh, that would be just sick. I think they were, but it's quite obvious here that you can tell that they were not interested in getting rid of anybody on their roster. They didn't want to lose their depth now. They're in win now mode, so they worked out a deal. Like Tuck wasn't going to be back for a long time. Well, I guess neither is Eichel, but they wanted to make sure that they could make the playoffs still, right? So if they would have traded Carlson, if you look at their lineup now, Carlson is hurt. And they have, oh gosh, what's his name? He's horrible. He's why I like Ottawa to win tonight. Yeah, they have Brett Howden playing #1 center right now. He has no points in 7 games as it is. He hasn't really been that great, and like for a long time, he hasn't lived up to his expectations at all. And then Nicholas Roy is playing second line center. Well, Chandler Stevenson can probably move up, but that lineup looks so thin right now. I don't know. I think they got to do something. They picked up Yuri Fisher, right? They picked up Yuri Fisher from Arizona today too, and I didn't see what they gave up for that. What couldn't have been much. Yuri Fisher hasn't lived up to expectations either. Devils, Holtz, Claim Wedgwood. Oh, Brett Ritchie has been claimed on injured reserve for Calgary. It doesn't hurt them that bad. I don't see that trade. I saw a trade where they picked up Yuri Fisher. Did anybody see that? I'm sure they did ask for Theodore, but there was just no way that they were going to give up that off their roster. They were obviously working out a deal that most of the players wouldn't be playing right now. Like, they didn't even want to give up Smith by the looks of it. They wouldn't even put Smith in there. So then Smith probably would have said, okay, I'll go there, but I'm not going to sign or anything like that. And then Buffalo went like, we have no leverage. Probably wouldn't get much back for him. So I don't know if we really want him anyways. But I'm sure Theodore was in the conversation somewhere along the line, but they obviously, they didn't want to give up anybody off the roster. They're going for a cup right now. Right now. Seth Jarvis did get his first goal in the NHL. Yeah, well, yeah, it was that he actually misplayed the puck and it went in the net. No way. Connor is hurt for the Winnipeg Jets. Oh, that's like the worst guy they could lose. That guy has been absolutely amazing. Holy crap, that sucks. Where did you get that from? I'm going to go look on Twitter here. I'm going to put you guys up on the here. And I'm going to look on Twitter. See what it's saying here. Yeah, Fleury did play well. I knew that wasn't going to be an easy out for them, Lauren. Chicago was coming in with a very good energy, but if it would have been most other teams in the league, I would have had Chicago last night. But because it's Carolina and they can meticulously break down the opposition the way they can, Chicago's got a lot of weaknesses, and Carolina's maybe the best team in the league at breaking down teams' weaknesses. So. Yeah, I think it's just a breakdown. Like they have so many defensive breakdowns there. It's hard for a goaltender to play with defensive breakdowns like that. It's crazy. Matthew Tkachuk is trending on Twitter. You can squash the Matthew Tkachuk talk. So now here's the thing, okay? I just looked this up on Twitter, and they're talking about see, Matthew's not going there and all that kind of stuff like that. If Matthew Tkachuk was part of the deal, you think that deal could have been had. But I think I am almost positive that he would not commit to re-signing with Buffalo. So that's why they went to Vegas. There's lots of rumors that he wants to go to St. Louis and all of that kind of stuff. Why would you want to go to Buffalo, really? So I think I wouldn't be surprised if Tkachuk was part of the package, but I also a lot of that has to do with the fact that Calgary may know that he's probably going to leave, and you may see him traded anyways. You may see him being traded to the very place that you may see Tkachuk being traded to the very place that apparently he's rumored to go when his contract is up, and that's St. Louis. I thought maybe Brady might be in there, and I guess eventually he could, but he signed that big contract with Ottawa. Tkachuk was never on the table? Well, nobody's going to tell you that. But, I mean, who was it that came out with that? It made him look, he sort of looks bad now, but he's just going by information. It was Kevin Weeks tweeted it out that he was part of the package. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a huge Twitter follower or whatever, but as far as I know, Kevin Weeks doesn't tweet that stuff out too much. He would only have tweeted that stuff out if he had some reason to really believe he was in part of the package. Tkachuk for Tarasenko makes some sense. Tarasenko last night, though, didn't look all that dominant to me. That's why they're going to wait. I don't think that happens till the trade deadline or closer to the trade deadline, all for cap reasons too, right? So, I mean, yeah, you might as well. If you're going to lose him anyways, and Tarasenko is going to be happy to stay there at less money. You might as well pick him up. What would he? How would he fit in there with Calgary? I don't think they have any Russians, but St. Louis really hasn't had a ton of Russians either, and he didn't seem to care. He seems like a guy that, doesn't complain about much. So whatever happened there, he was really upset about it. Oh yeah, we were looking up Connor got hurt too. We got to look up that. Kyle Connor. That would be absolutely crappy. It doesn't say anything on Cap Friendly yet, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't necessarily mean, because you've told me injuries before, and it doesn't come up on Cap Friendly for a while. Hollebuck got hurt. No, he's off on a personal affair, something personal going on in his life. So, again, you notice these personal affairs are happening to the teams that are right at the top of the cap. All of a sudden, there's a lot of guys having personal issues and stuff like that. And I'm not saying they don't have a personal issue, but I wonder what kind of personal issue, like if there was a different situation, that personal issue would have had him out. Like, as long as he's off on a personal issue, I believe he doesn't count on the cap as long as the league authorizes it. So saving cap space. But why Connor Hollebuck? Maybe because he actually had an issue. And maybe it wasn't, like, I'm not saying it is, it could be a serious issue, but it also could be an issue that at other circumstances he wouldn't go. Connor Hollebuck is injured. Okay. Well, yeah, that's not good either, because Comrie, I mean, he didn't have a bad game last game, but I don't know. Not a guy I want to be rolling with all the time, that's for sure. Larkin is away. Okay, Larkin, that's a different situation there because they don't need to worry about cap. So I don't know what Larkin's issue is, but it's probably nothing like that. I know that it makes it really tough for them against Boston, because if they had Larkin, the biggest thing that you can have an advantage with Boston is that they don't really have all that much depth up the middle. But now Detroit doesn't either. Without Larkin, that's going to be a tough go against Boston, I think. That top line should eat them alive, I would think. But, oh, that's what I was going to look up Calgary. So Connor Hollebuck. I thought you were talking about Kyle Connor. That would be like, seriously, that'd be devastating for him. That guy's like looks like a 50-goal scorer. His wheels, he reminds me of Joe Nieuwendyk. He reminds me a lot of Joe Nieuwendyk back in the day. His shot off the wing is freaking amazing. His shot anywhere is amazing. So if you had Tarasenko, you could play him just in Matthew Tkachuk's spot. And I suppose. I was just thinking if they had any Russians there, but they didn't. Oh, Zadorov. Maybe he's good friends with Zadorov, and that's one of the reasons why they took him. They had that all in mind there. It's possible. But that's like the easy thing to look at, is to think that it would be Tkachuk for Tarasenko. I could see it. And you could probably get Tarasenko plus, depending on how well he's playing up to that point. Top 5 goal scorer in the league. I agree with you totally. That guy is so under. Nobody talks about him either. Like, what does that guy have to do? I don't. Do people not see I guess people just don't watch Winnipeg games. You watch Winnipeg games, he's the best guy on the ice. He's their best player. I love Scheifele, but I think Kyle Connor is the best player they got. He's great defensively. He's like Stone if Stone could skate fast. He's got heart. He goes to the right areas. He plays well defensively. I just freaking love that guy. He is definitely the straw that stirs the drink there in Winnipeg. I would hate to see him get injured for that purpose. Yeah, not many fans overall. Yeah, a lot of the Winnipeg fans love them. They got a lot of fans in Winnipeg, considering especially the population there, how many fans they bring in. But they fill the building, no problems. No problems. And they pay a pretty penny for those tickets, too. Yeah, I kind of skipped over that because it didn't really, I don't know, those retires. It's nice to think about those great, very good players in the past that, took a long time to retire to actually come out and do it. I don't know why it takes him so long to actually officially retire, but Marian Gaborik, if he didn't have injuries, his numbers would have been absolutely awesome, but he was injured an awful lot. But mostly in LA. He played mostly in LA. He played for the Rangers for quite a bit too. Ottawa, I believe. Didn't he play for Ottawa, the Rangers, and LA? I believe that was who he played for. And he was like a 30 to 40 goal scorer, super fast, played the right way, but he got injured quite a bit. It's fun to watch. Mostly Leafs. Yeah, nobody, very few people outside of Winnipeg, even in Canada, are Winnipeg Jets fans, unless they were from Winnipeg. Like they never. The thing about Winnipeg though is if they didn't play in the dynasty Edmonton Oilers years, they had some really good teams there. They gave even Edmonton a good go a couple times, but it was just unfortunate for them that they were in that era, because if they had that kind of talent now, they're good now though, but they had a lot of talent back then. Randy Carlyle, Howard Chuck, Thomas Steen. This is guys just coming off the top of my head. I'd have to look at it. I'm sure there's guys there's lots of guys I'm forgetting. Phil Housley was there for a while. Teemu Selanne. They had a really good team quite a few times, but they're playing the Edmonton Oilers, like the powerhouse that they were at the time. Play Minnesota Wild? Anyways, I think for Vegas, like they can put Eichel on. Now they can go out and fill out their roster and just make sure they're making the playoffs. Fortunately for them, they're in a weak division. They can keep grinding it out. If it looks like they're going to fall out, Stone and Pacioretty will come back. I'm pretty sure they're taking it easy, bringing them back, since, like I said, every day that they're not playing, there's more cap room coming for them. And then they can go out and fill their roster as the deadline approaches, and then have a powerhouse for the playoffs, and as long as they keep it under the cap. Nikita Zaitsev is out tonight? Oh, thanks for telling me that. Man, I don't know about that game, what to do with that game. I think Ottawa will win it. The Eichel move here could be a big boost for Vegas, though. Like it certainly would put a jump in their step to know that the organization has got went out and got a franchise player like that, even though he's not going to play right now. But their lineup, if you look at their lineup, it's pretty thin, very, very thin right now. Very thin. It's going to be, I think Ottawa will probably win that game. Still, even though Zaitsev is out. And that's Ottawa's biggest problem. They need defensemen there. Their defense is pretty poor. You got Del Zotto playing top 4 minutes. You know, that's not a guy that should be playing top 4 minutes at this stage of his career. And oh wait, I just saw something here. What's this roster size? 24 to 23. What is the cap floor right now? Because as it stands right now, they have 16 million in cap space. Yeah, see, Vegas has 16 million in cap space too, but that's because they have 16 million on the long-term injury reserve. Oh shoot, yeah, Gaborik did play for Minnesota, right? I forgot about that. He played quite a bit for Minnesota too, actually. Thanks for bringing that up. I forgot about Minnesota. He jumped around quite a bit because of his injury problems, but players kept on hoping that he could play a full season or whatever, because he was a great skill. He was a great talent. But Vegas is a powerhouse. It will be a powerhouse. It'll be tough to beat now in the playoffs. Once they get Eichel in there, that top line, they can compete a little bit with Edmonton's top line, a little bit. Talking about that, we should probably go into the games last night. Edmonton is going to eat up a lot of teams that are coming off of back-to-backs. And Draisaitl, oh my gosh. Vegas will be better with Jack Eichel, absolutely. I still don't know if they're going to win a cup, though. Like, I still don't see them as like a complete cup favorite, but they're more of one. Oh, that's November 2nd. There we go. So the Oilers won 5-2 over the Predators, and Draisaitl is 9 goals already this year. We were all talking about McDavid, but Draisaitl is just being stupid. McDavid, I think he got 2 goals last night. Oh, Puljujarvi potted one last night. I didn't watch much of that game because it was kind of a blowout. Yeah, he got 2 goals last night. That's got to put him in the lead in the NHL, right? Like both of them together. Remember we were saying that it might not matter about the miscues with the pickup of Keith and all that. It might not matter. We haven't seen like 2 guys like that on the same team for a very long time. Like since Yager and Mario Lemieux, or Messier and Gretzky, or it's been like that long of a time. Right now he's 9 goals and 11 assists in 20 games. They're both on a 160-point pace or close to it. McDavid's got 1 fewer point right now. I would have to think so. I think they got issues themselves with making sure they hit the cap floor. But after trading Fisher, which apparently they did, I can't see anything where that is, but yeah, I heard something about it, but I can't see anywhere where it actually happened. It popped up on my phone. Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, the question really wasn't whether he was going to be a superstar, is how much of a superstar was he going to be, McDavid. Draisaitl, when I remember when Draisaitl was drafted, he was compared to Kopitar, but he is past Kopitar in a big bad way. Like, he is just his shot is stupid. It's almost like Matthews level. Those two on the ice against weaker teams, they almost don't even need anybody else. What's their next game? I'm going to check out what Edmonton's next game is. Colorado, Dallas, Edmonton. Against the New York Rangers next. So, I mean, I think they'll crush the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers don't have a defense that can do that. As long as their defense holds up. If their defense holds up just a little bit, then they can do that. Tampa Bay Lightning, yeah, I think Tampa Bay will win that one. Well, yeah, it's tough, but we're shutting down both Draisaitl and McDavid. That's the problem. You don't just have one guy there. You want to put everything on McDavid, then you got Draisaitl floating around doing whatever he wants, and that's what's kind of happening right now. Last night they were smart. Tippett, I thought, did a really good thing. You don't hear me say that too often. But I'm starting to get what he's doing, though. Tippett is just trying to build as much confidence in all the players he can. Like, Peyton gets so upset that he played Barry up on that top line. He basically said, if you can show me that you can play better defensively, then I'll keep you up there. He gave him a shot. He gave him a chance. He gave him a fair shake, and now he's on the bottom pairing. The Leafs will lose tonight. I have them not winning. They have looked a lot better though, but that depth and Tampa Bay's play through all their lines, I think it's going to be pretty tough. Vasilevsky, of course, and then Campbell hasn't really looked like he was absolutely fantastic. Hasn't looked fantastic either. But what other games lost? Okay, so with the Edmonton Oilers, Nashville played hard last night, actually, but they were on a back-to-back against a tough Calgary team, and now you got to come in and play the high-flying. It was a little too much dash. Yamamoto potted another one last night. That line's getting some scoring, which is good. Devin Shore actually even potted one last night. And then Jesse Puljujarvi. They need to get him going. I think we expected more from Puljujarvi so far this year. What's he got? Well, you know what? Get him going. He had 3 goals and 7 assists, 10 points. That's not bad, actually. Now he's playing with McDavid, so he gets a lot of points that way, but that's actually not that bad. Nugent Hopkins, I don't know if you knew this, has 13 points in 9 games. and none of them are goals. Oh, that'll be rough. Leafs play Boston on Saturday. My gosh. And Yamamoto's got 2 goals in 9 games, but he's starting to pot a few now. Just Nashville was totally overmatched last night, though. Just totally overmatched. Okay, the Hurricanes and Blackhawks game, we'll get to that, especially since Lauren is in the chat. Chicago comes out with the like I thought they would. Lots of energy, playing hard. Derek Stepan scores his second as a Hurricane, and D'Angelo putting up points like crazy. With and Svechnikov as well. So then I thought it was 3-1 at one time. DeBrincat scored first from Kane and Jones. Yeah, it was 3-1, and it was like you felt that Carolina was going to come back. You really just felt that Carolina was going to be able to come back in that situation. Carolina against a weak defensive team, even if they get down, they're going to pick away at them, and eventually they win. There's just so much depth through that lineup. It's crazy. All they got to do is find the right matchups and try to expose them as much as they possibly can, especially on the D side of things. Patrick Kane did get another one last night. Yeah, he got his 5th goal in 2 games. Is that what it was? Or 3? And an assist. So he's racking up points like he normally does. Trying to find Carolina here. I wanted to see what their scoring looks like from all their lines. Aho 11 points in 9 games with 5 goals already. Turavina is normal, close to point a game. And then Svechnikov going off 7 goals and 13 points already. They're scoring all through this lineup. You got Kokoniemi, Stahl, and Jesper Foss looking right around 40-point area. And now you got Jarvis there. It looked like a beast last night. And D'Angelo, 10 points in 9 games so far this year. Taves hasn't been able to get it going yet. And that's really and you kind of expected that. I mean, he's getting up there. He took a whole year off. How the heck is he going to be able to, it's Taves, so you can never sell him short, but that's a lot to ask from any player. To come back from whatever he was going through, the fatigue and all that, and then not play, and then come in. And then the situation that was happening there on top of it, it's pretty crazy. So Jarvis got 9 minutes last night. No power play time. They're just getting his feet wet and Kokoniemi's hovering around 12 every night. Probably the right amount for him right now as he grows into his position. Ethan Bear last night, he had one really bad penalty. I don't know what he was doing. He just swung his stick pretty much almost right at the guy's head. I'm actually surprised they didn't hear anything about that from the league. A fine or something, but that was a bad penalty at a bad time. But besides that, he played well. And he's getting 18 minutes a night. That's pretty darn good. They're playing D'Angelo on the penalty kill, too. I noticed that last night. You were in the heat of the moment. Yeah, he played well, but that one particular play was pretty cringeworthy. I don't know what he was thinking there. Oh, it was in the heat of the moment. Yeah. So the Columbus Blue Jackets, that game surprised me. I thought that was going to be an under. I thought maybe Johansson was going to be better than he was. They would have worked with him and stuff, but he wasn't. And it was only 2-1 in the second period. So I thought, okay, this could probably be an under. But then Cole Sillinger starts looking amazing last night. Wow. Gets his third goal. Gets his third goal last night to end the game winner. But one thing I've noticed in this is, where the heck is Laine? Like, he's getting assists and stuff like that, but he got 2 assists last night. Laine does that all the time. You don't notice him out there, and next thing you know, you look on the score sheet and he's got 2 assists or something. And Bowen Byram tied it up to send it to overtime, and then Jake Bean had a nice little shot there to put it away in the overtime. I was half looking at it. I was pretty upset when Sillinger got an assist. He had a 3-point night. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold up, but they don't look too bad, Columbus. Larson has him playing with a lot of confidence, but they've been getting lucky. Like, Colorado had a terrible, beat-up roster last night. Laine has 10 points in 9 games, and I've watched the Columbus games, and I've really never once thought, oh, Laine is playing well. But that's sort of the way he is. I want to know what a loss is, yeah. You trade Girard for... I think that could happen. I think they're building up some of their young players where they have more confidence. And, you could even package Girard and Kadri, if anybody would do it, to get a second-line center. But that's easier said than done. Where are you going to get a second-line center from? There's not many laying around in the league right now. The teams that have them probably, what team is so deep in centers that they could give them one up and need defensemen at the same time? That type of defenseman. I could see maybe Seattle doing something like that if they're out of it at the deadline. Get a young stud like Girard, who's on a great contract, for Gord or whatever. Maybe the Detroit Red Wings, but they don't have much up the middle to give to them, because they could definitely use some defense there. Just looking through here, Florida Panthers are really deep up the middle. It wouldn't hurt them to have a guy like that as well. But I don't think they're trading Barrett. No, not Lundell, so nobody there that I could see. Toronto, I mean, Tavares. No, I think Sakic's pretty smart to stay away from that $11 million contract. Yeah, for who, though? You're going to trade Hischier? Their defense is looking better and better all the time, too, there in New Jersey. Vancouver, maybe TJ Miller. Maybe Miller out of Vancouver if they can sign Besser, because they need, if Besser is willing to sign there, they're going to need cap space. But then that doesn't really give them much cap space, so that doesn't really work. No, Seguin's not going nowhere. I don't believe so, anyways. Malkin is so injury prone. I don't think that they would do that either. Yeah, there's not much. There's not much. Back when Tampa had more depth, maybe. Oh yeah, that could be it. Yeah, Gerard to the Rangers would be good. You could get Hedel or Strome, and Strome plus or something like that. Yeah, Strome plus maybe they give a defenseman and Strome back. But that's a pretty darn good defenseman. Like that package would be pretty good. He's a really good defenseman. Very underrated. But I get it though. They do need a better second line center, depth in the middle. Yeah, Ryan Strome. If they think Philip Hedel is ready. Don't really have a defenseman to give back, though. With probably a depth guy. Try to get Morgan Barron off of them. Oh, he's a center. Or one of their younger guys like Matthew Robertson or something like that. Maybe Strome and Matthew Robertson. How's Matthew Robertson doing in the AHL right now? I think he's in the A. Yeah. He hasn't had a point yet in 8 games. So I know he wasn't going to be a huge offensive producer anyways, but he's probably a year or 2 away. I don't think you'd be able to wrestle Schneider from them. Pretty sure. He's pretty much untouchable. Buffalo trying to trade Colin Miller. Probably will trade him at the deadline, I would think. Eichel, yeah. Probably get a draft pick out of him. Yeah, Seth Jarvis' 2-way game was really impressive last night. I don't know if Lundqvist is better than Schneider. What's Schneider doing now? He ripped up Junior last year, man. Like he had more. The thing about him is he wasn't really expected to be a real offensive defenseman. And he ripped it up offensively last year. Is he in the minors? No? Braden Schneider, yeah. What's he got? That's interesting. So he's only got 1 point in the minors too. So he ripped it up offensively in junior, but it hasn't yet. That offense hasn't. It's only 8 games, but it hasn't really translated in Hartford yet. I believe that Hartford team is pretty bad too, though. So it's hard to get a judgment on it since I wish I had time to watch AHL games too. That would be freaking awesome. But which I will as everybody subs up to the channel and the cash gets flowing. People get taking Pearlo swag like crazy, which is coming, by the way. Have I talked Kings Blues yet? No. That was a pretty gutsy win by the Kings last night. The Blues were playing way too defensive. They were trying to lull the Kings to sleep, and McClellan obviously, put a fire under their butts there in the third, I guess. And they finally started. LA in the third period there played like the LA I thought might make the playoffs this year. And Quick had a good game last night. But it kind of ticked me off because I had the Blues last night. I just thought, especially with Arvidsson out, I'll do it now since you asked. We'll do that game right now. I thought Braden Shen was going to be out. And then when he wasn't out, I thought, okay, St. Louis has a really good chance. Artur Kaliyev potted one last night. Are they giving him ice time now? 13 minutes. A little more ice. They're starting to give Kaliyev a little more ice time. Yeah, I don't even know who he is. It's because Dermott is put on injured reserve. And Adrian Kempe might have had one of the best games I've seen him play in a long time last night. Teach me your ways. Rickett in the house. Woo. Hajin in the house. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't not like Iafallo. I just think in a good team, he's probably not in my second line. He's a fairly average second liner. What's he got? Is he putting up some points this year? Before I say that, might be crushing it this year. I don't look down at the points all the time until I'm talking to you guys. So I find out what the points are while I'm talking to you guys. That's one of the perks of doing this show. How many points each player has and stuff like that. What's he got? He got 9 points in 10 games. Good for him. I have a feeling it'll fall off, but yeah, they had a good game last night. Elias Anderson didn't look good last night, though. Again, he just can't find his niche, that guy. He's still got a while, but yeah, they're still playing Artur Kaliyev in the fourth line. So he's still doing that. I want you to learn how to cycle and play down low, which Kaliyev does need to do. That's the type of game he has. So yeah, they played hard in the third. They were all over St. Louis in the third. Yeah, well, there's always been an excuse for Elias. He's a bit rusty yet. There's always been an excuse for Elias. He's now 23 years old. He whined his way out of New York. He still could do it. Like, he's got all the tools, but he looks lost out there far too often. It must be hard to be a Kings fan. But St. Louis plays on a back-to-back. They play tonight now against San Jose. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to lean San Jose because St. Louis looked tired at the end of the game last night, and I don't know what that was all about. But LA did attack their weakness, which is their defense. And they started, really pressuring their defense a lot in the third period last night, which is what you got to do against St. Louis. If you do that, you got a pretty good chance of winning. Well, they won cups, Lauren. As much as we can love Carolina, but they went through a long, bad spell, that's for sure. But at least they won cups. They had some great teams at that time. That's a good question, Byfield. I don't know what's going on with that. Week to week is what they say. So whatever his injury is, it's like they don't know really when it's going to get better. That pretty much says that. Yeah, it was a gutsy win without Doughty. A lot of guys not in the lineup right now for them. Walker. St. Louis was down some guys too, which is why I should have took the under last night, but oh well. You don't always get it right. Byfield will be back before Doughty. Oh, okay, so 6 weeks. Because Doughty apparently is 6 weeks. Clegg's looking better this year. He's probably looked the best he's looked in the NHL. Oh, they put Clegg on waivers? I didn't even know that. When did they put him on waivers? If anybody else picks him up, they got to find out how to get that guy to be more physical. That's the problem with Clegg. He's probably never going to be an overly physical guy, but he has to be more physical than he is. He lets checks go far too often, especially for his size. And his overall game isn't strong enough for him to do that. A couple of weeks ago, yeah. His overall game isn't strong enough for him to do that. So if he went a couple of weeks ago, then he's played a couple of games in the minors there. Well, where is he playing? Because they don't even have him in the minors. Is he a scratch? No, Athanasiou. No, they got him in the lineup now, so they called him back up again. He's playing in the lineup right now. 3 assists in 3 games. That's what I thought, because I thought I just saw him playing. So they sent him down there and then brought him back up again. What about that Kachev guy you said was going to be on the second line and crushing it? He's got 1 game. Okay, he's only played 1 game in the minors. How's Anderson Dolan, Jared Dolan doing? I liked him. I thought he was going to be 6 points in 8 games for the Reign. Not bad. Alex Turcotte is 5 points in 8 games. He got an assist last night. Yeah, I thought I saw him playing. And I know he's played up a certain amount because I mentioned that I really thought he played a lot better. His puck management was better. But he's still got to get more physical. Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know if you watched my videos for my picks this time, but I mentioned that I didn't actually even make that pick. I took the under on that game. So I gave one to you, Devondra, and I didn't even take it myself. He's killing it in the minors. He always does. He's got a killer shot. He's just not his skating isn't up to par. He does that all the time. He's put up good numbers in the A over and over and over again. 10 points in 8 games. Yeah. That's about average. He's about a point a game guy in the AHL. No problems, dude. Anytime. Next time, though, I'll be smart enough to take it myself. If Furcat could have like a half a step faster, he'd be a very good NHLer for sure. Make sure you're hitting that like button, everybody. I notice we're 7 people in the chat and only 3 people like it. That's not, if you like it. So that's pretty much what that game is all about. But it was a gutsy win by LA. If they, the way they played in the second half, if they did that every game, I think that they could be close to a playoff team. They're just so inconsistent. Well, yeah, if he was like that fast, then he'd be absolutely fantastic. But if he was just average fast, his shot is talked about by every team he's played for, in Detroit, everywhere. His shot from the slot is fantastic. He's in the NHL. He doesn't have the legs to get into the spots to do it enough. And he's not that big of a guy, too, so they need to do that on the road. Hopefully this is like something clicking in their head and they start being like that all the time. For LA's sake. And for my sake, too, because I predicted they were going to have a really good year this year, as you probably know, and they're not really so far crushing it. But that was a big game for them there. I guess that's all the games, so we'll look at tonight. Did I do all the games here? Oilers, Hurricanes, yeah. So Bruins and the Red Wings tonight. And has anybody heard if Larkin will be in tonight? I imagine it would have been up by now if he was going to be in. But you never know. That Detroit team, they can surprise you, and all of a sudden he shows up and he's in. That would be a terrible loss for the Bruins if they don't win that game without Larkin in. Seal! Welcome, man. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, unless he surprises us. It doesn't look like he's out. Boston should really have that game. They're putting Swayman in. Yeah, I was gonna check. They updated the starting goaltending yet. St. Louis Blues still haven't said who they're gonna have in yet. Oh, Sabres are putting Tokarski in. Oh, why? They're not on a back-to-back. That's an odd spot to put Tokarski in. Larkin is out. So, yeah, I like Boston. Hudobin versus Markstrom, I probably like the Flames there. Dallas did get the offense going last game, though. And that's been their big problem. They haven't been able to score. Like, I don't know what happened to Ropo Hintz, but his offense has just gone completely out the window. It looks like he's just focusing, his mindset is way too much on defense. For San Jose and St. Louis, I think San Jose, I like their energy right now. And with St. Louis being on a back-to-back, with a really tough one against LA, where they didn't look like their legs were moving last night. Now, I'm sure the thing is you'll probably see in the first period their legs will be moving tonight. I wonder if over 1.5 first period there might be a good play. The Flyers should win tonight. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they just win for reasons you just shouldn't win. I know that Carter Hart's in, and that's basically it. Even if Pittsburgh does outplay them a bit, Carter Hart has been playing really, really well. I think he'll hold them in no matter what. My lean is that, and they got so many guys out. Crosby, Demelin, but they've got enough of a lineup to win with because they win with bad lineups. Cooper kills me. Like, he won't put his goal. He won't tell you who his goaltender is until the very last second. God forbid if they went with Elliott here, but I can't see it. And the Islanders haven't said it either. But as far as I know, Varlamov is still injured, so it's got to be Sorokin. Oh, wait, Jake Allen's struggling. Maybe they will. Who would they? I think it's Gibson or something. I just can't see it. Reimer has been good for San Jose, and Hill is in tonight, and that has me a little bit concerned. But Reimer has been, again, Nabokov, remember? We talked about that. Nabokov is sort of a goalie whisperer there. And especially with veteran guys, he seems to be able to get the best out of them. And Reimer right now is playing the best I've seen him since he was back in Toronto a long time ago. I'd like that was like the last win that St. Louis or that San Jose had. That was against Buffalo, right? They, like I said, they got a lot of people out of their lineup. However, there's another one. Apparently, there's a whole bunch of people questionable for tonight. They might play tonight, question mark. That's like Carlson. They still have them out of the lineup right now. They shouldn't beat St. Louis with this lineup. Santeri Hataka, I don't even know who that is. Yeah, he had no points in Finland at all. So he's not an offensive guy. He's not very big. Well, that's what Vegas does. Vegas identifies what they want and they go get it, and that's it. That's the way they are. They did it with Stone, which was actually a good trade. Pacioretty, probably not so much, but I think the Sens should have that because Vegas is pretty beat up. There was an injury for... Oh, Vasilevsky is not Vasilevsky. I always forget his name. Who's out, Eichel? You told me already. Zaitsev. You said Zaitsev is hurt. Now, it's let me update this. Maybe I got to update this more often. It still shows Zaitsev in. Let me see the TSN. Update the injuries and see if Zaitsev is out on there now. Without Zaitsev, and I mean Zaitsev's nothing special, but they got a pretty thin defense as it is. They can't really afford to lose anybody. It doesn't show that Zaitsev is injured on TSN injury updates. Laine is day-to-day now? Ouch. But I think the Sens could have that one. They got Gustafsson in net, and I like Gustafsson a lot. It feels like it should be an under, but Ottawa plays balls out, man. But Vegas shouldn't be able to score much. Like, it's a very interesting game. I have an idea what I might do with that game, actually. But I can't really say it, so. I'm going to be right back, guys. Just wait. The thing about Ottawa is they haven't been really playing all that well, especially defensively. But they're home. Vegas is really beat up. It seems like, and they got their best goaltender in, so it seems like a good possibility. When they're playing rough and tumble down low, that's when they're at their best. If they do that against Vegas, I think they got a pretty good shot. That's basically their bread and butter. The question is, when's Tkachuk going to get his game back? He hasn't been getting a lot of points. Kraken went to minus 191 quickly. Oh, that was because of Buffalo's goaltender that they're putting in. Yeah. Eichel to the Flames, Suzuki and Romanov. Yeah, no, Eichel did end up going to Vegas. I think the Flames were in hard on that too, and I wouldn't doubt that Tkachuk was on that. We were talking about that earlier. But the problem is they would have had discussions with Tkachuk, and Tkachuk probably would have given them the impression that he didn't want to go. So they're not a team that really wants to have anybody in the lineup that doesn't want to be there. They've already had enough of that problem. So, and he's got to be re-signed right away here, I believe. So it wouldn't really make much sense. Calgary right in the middle there. Oh, wait, I can just look there. What's he got? Tkachuk. Yeah, this is his last year. So he would have been, he's a restricted free agent. They would have had leverage, but he's 23. So he would sign a 4-year contract and then out on his way. And they just don't want anybody that doesn't want to be there. Good, Valentino Habs. Thanks for coming in. Final deal you didn't see? Eichel for Zari and Kachuk. I wouldn't doubt if it was something like that. But again, Kachuk's only got 1 year and he's got to re-sign. And that if all those rumors are true, and Kachuk was on the list there, what does that tell you about whether he wants to stay in Calgary or not? There has been many rumblings that he may not want to be in Calgary. Now, that could be a contract thing, too. That could be a contract ploy. He's making $7 million a year now. So qualifying offer is going to put him to $8 million. That's a tough pill to swallow. I like Kachuk, but how? I don't know. Like, I don't know what that contract's going to look like. No, it's not a Flame. He's in Vegas. Or did they come in under the wire and steal him now? Is that what you're trying to say? I think it would have been all over the place if you did. Okay, some more people who have been put on protocol. We knew about Crosby and Dumoulin. Mike Sullivan will not be behind the bench tonight because of that. Borgstrom, Tyler, okay, Isaac Phillips. I knew about that already. Yeah, I think it would be all over the place if they actually, if Eichel actually ended up going to Calgary. He's not getting, well, I certainly, he's going to Vegas. There's no way they would allow all that go out and it not happen. It's a done deal. He's going to Vegas. And I wouldn't have made that deal with Kachuk in there either if he wasn't, you know, if I talked to his agent and he made it quite clear that he wouldn't sign a long-term extension. And he probably knows that. So even if he wants to sign a long-term extension with Calgary, he's probably not wanting to go to Buffalo too much. There's not much for him there. Cap Friendly says Eichel to Flames. Well, I've been staring at Cap Friendly all day here. They didn't take it down because it was pretty close to that being the case, from what I understand. Signings, trades. Where's their trade stuff here? I never even look at that for them, for recalls and assignments. Signings, injuries. Where do you see that on there? Bottom of the page. Oh, okay. No, it doesn't. It says Vegas Golden Knights. Tuck, Krebs, 2022 conditional first. 2023 conditional second. So it is a second. If the pick's in the top 10, Vegas will instead transfer their 2023 first to pick to Buffalo. If Vegas's first round pick in 2022 is a top 10 pick, then Vegas will transfer their 2024 second pick instead of the 2023. Yeah, I restarted the page. You're just playing with me. He's going to Vegas. It's all done. It would have been cool to see Eichel go to Calgary, actually. It would have been cool for the purposes of them having an actual Battle of Alberta. It would have been amazing. But I'll tell you what, if Calgary really was in as much as they were, you got to think that they're still looking for a center out there. I would say that's not over. No, I'm not checking on the Flames website. It's Vegas. I know what it is, but nice try though. You got to figure they'll be looking for a center pretty hard. But you got to. That's why if anybody was looking for centers, you would have thought they would have been going hard after Eichel, because there isn't many centers. Maybe Strome again. The Rangers have a pretty good one in Strome there that they can get quite a bit for at the deadline. And if Seattle's out of it, they got a couple guys they can pick up for some decent picks, I think, as well. Arizona has, oh yeah, they have Schmaltz, right? I bet you even Schmaltz will bring something. Nick Schmaltz. Yeah, okay. I'm sure that Eichel would say Calgary, baby, Calgary. Pretty sure. I don't see that there's too many. That's the thing. They could get Kadri. Kadri was supposed to go to Calgary. There was a deal. He was pretty much sent to Calgary, and then Colorado upped their offer or something. He even thought he was going to Calgary. I don't know if they'd want to do that now. They might have got fortunate in getting outbid on that one. Yeah, there's no centers out there. JT Miller can play center in Vancouver if they're completely out of it. There's another one maybe. But does Vancouver want to trade to Calgary? I don't. Centers are hard to find. That's why I would have been all over Eichel if I knew, if my doctors were saying he was going to be healthy, I would have been all over that. Goudreau, Eichel, put Lindholm on the wing, because he does play wing too, pretty much as good as he does center. What would I do if that was the case? What would I do if I took Calgary? If he ended up getting Eichel, Zari would have been gone, and Matthew Tkachuk would have been gone. So, yeah, you'd have to put Lindholm on the wing. And then Coleman, Backlund, and they keep on you. They're using Pitlick there, Mangiapane. Be a pretty solid roster. I thought I saw like 6 weeks or something like that. I'd like to see Allison come back for Philadelphia. High ankle sprain at the worst time. I really liked his game. Philadelphia Flyers. What does it say? Expect 2 months from the time of the injury. So it looks like it's going to be a long time yet. It looks like it's going to be a long time yet. That's that core muscle injury he had, and it's obvious. Like those are you got to really make sure those core muscle injuries get, because it's everything. If a player's core is not healthy, they're not going to be able to do much at all. So that they're not going to be playing around with that. Good thing that Philadelphia is playing hard for him, and having good games, because that would be a struggle for him to have to sit there with that core muscle. Core muscles take a long time to heal, and you don't want to re-hurt them. So then you're right back to square one all over again. When am I getting off to the LTIR? Yeah, I think I'll be one of those players that officially retire in 2025 or something like that. What other games we got tonight? We talked about the Senators. Well, Golden Knights Senators you brought up. Oh, Canadians and Islanders. Canadians have been playing better, but man, the Islanders have had some time to practice here. I just can't see anything that the Islanders can do or Canadians can do to win that game. They're making videos about you, yeah. New York Islanders. They're healthy too, right? They've been all this time on the road, and they're healthy. They're not playing Parise up the middle anymore. They're playing Anthony Beauvillier up the middle now. No, they're not. Nelson, Barzal. I don't know. I looked at that. They're healthy. I can't see them losing that game, no matter how I do it. They'll suffocate that Montreal team, I think. That Montreal team won't be able to move anywhere. And then once you get down into the offensive zone, there's not much they can do. Is Petrie back? Is Petrie playing? Oh, your friend is a Habs fan? Well, what do you think? Do you think that... Oh, Petrie never missed any time. I heard he was going to miss. Yeah, Chris Weidman's going to be in the lineup. Like, Chris Weidman against the Islanders? That's ugly. Jake Allen's played better as of late, though. What do they got for lineups now? Hoffman, Dvorak, Josh Anderson. My gosh, poor Dvorak. Holy crap. Hoffman, Dvorak, Anderson. Dvorak has to play everywhere on the ice constantly all the time in that lineup, in that line. Josh Anderson and Hoffman are terrible defensively. If they keep that lineup against the Islanders, they're going to be eaten alive. Toffoli, Suzuki, Gallagher, they want to keep that line. I get it, but Michael Pezzetta, Evans, and Belzile. That's your fourth line. That's the lineup that's going to go against Clutterbuck, Martin, and Cizikas. Like, holy crap. Yeah, he definitely needs to win the faceoffs, that's for sure. He needs to do everything. The only thing he won't have to do on that line is Go at least Josh Anderson will go out in the corner and they can bring it out to him, and Hoffman will be floating around there in the slot. That's not bad. But as soon as it goes the other way, that line is a disaster. Not Dvorak. Dvorak's great, but that's asking way too much of somebody. That's a lineup that would make you want to definitely not re-sign in Montreal. They got him signed up for a while. That's brutal. Yeah, Islanders all day. I think Boston has more chance of losing to Detroit than the Islanders have of losing to Montreal. Even though they're on the road. My favorite Hab this season? Gallagher for sure. Gallagher's my favorite Hab. No doubt about it. Who doesn't love guys like Gallagher? I mean, Gallagher will always be my favorite Hab in now. I don't know. If I went all time, it'd be pretty tough. But Gallagher is my favorite for sure. Probably all time would be like Langway or something like that. There's so many great players in Montreal, though. I mean, I'm sure you could bring up a bunch and I'd be like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, yeah. But right now it's Gallagher for sure. But yeah, I can't see that lineup. I can't see them winning that game. I would be like blown away if they win that game. Jake Bean is doing good with the Jackets. He's got that good first shot. He's got a really good skill of being able to get shots through. That is huge for a defenseman like that. He gets shots through a lot. He knows how to place them. You know, guys like Suter and Ekman Larson, guys like that. He has that ability in him. Oh yeah, for sure. And then you take Perry out and Price and the whole situation that's gone there. That lineup is really depleted. So I'll take a look at the Golden Knights and Ottawa Senators lineups. Because we talked about it, but I never really looked it up. The big thing, they both have kind of the same problem. I want to go a low-scoring game on this one, but I know Ottawa. Like, it doesn't matter who's in the lineup, they'll go balls out. And Drake Batherson has quietly got 10 points in 9 games this year. Tim Stützle, last couple games, has looked like the Tim Stützle we've been wanting to see. But he's playing with Nicholas Paul and Connor Brown. Connor Brown's pretty good. But they're pretty slim. And it was the defense I was talking about. Mete and Brown. Nick Holden and Del Zotto are the second pair. That's not fun right there. They need to get Pinto back, and they need to get defense like Stat if they're going to have any chance at all this year. Although I don't think that they think that they have a chance at all this year. But Vegas now doesn't have Krebs. This is a pretty depleted lineup. No Krebs, so you got Marchessault, Howden, and Riley Smith. Dadonov, who's looked exactly the same he did in Ottawa, bad. Nicola Roy and Colasar. Carrier on the third line with Chandler and Amadeo. Yeah, Ottawa's got to win that game. Their defense could hold them in. But their offense, there's nothing there. Carolina hemorrhages defense. Like, oh, yeah. Detroit used to be like that. LA was like that, too. Just keep on. And Nashville. Nashville kept on spitting out defensemen over and over and over again. Still not bad. Fabro has looked good. Is it a back-to-back? That's something I haven't looked here. What games teams might be overlooking? What teams might be overlooking? See, Ottawa plays. That's the other thing. This is their third game in 4 nights. So it's a tough game to decide what's going to happen there, honestly. Montreal. I mean, they could. It's a pretty depleted lineup. Wouldn't be a... They could. Anybody could beat Vegas right now, the way that lineup looks, except for maybe Arizona. But that lineup's really bad. Their defense, though, will hold them in. No, it's not a back-to-back. So, yeah, pretty difficult to say. I got to lean Ottawa, but... And then we haven't even got to Capitals and Panthers yet. So with the Capitals and Panthers, the big problem with the Capitals and Panthers for Florida is Sam Bennett is injured. And he has been big for them right now. Although, because of that, Reinhart gets to play center with Huberdeau, and I love that. Steele and I were on last night. I don't know if you knew that. We're going to be doing that occasionally, maybe even once a week. We're going to do a show like this, but do it in the evening. Lundell, oh, is he back? No, it's day to day. I don't like Washington right now, though. I think Florida will pull that one out. They got the kid in, Spencer Knight. And, yeah, Washington's playing guys like Protas and Leeson, and they're playing hardly any minutes. Are they ever going to tell us who's going to be in net for that game? It's just silly that they wait so long to tell you who their starting goaltenders are. I don't get it. Lundell's a beast, man. He's going to be a great two-way center. How great, it's hard to say. I mean, of doing what he's doing at this age now leads me to believe that, I mean, he's going to be up there with some of the top two-way centers in the game for sure. I would have to say. I can't see it being any other way, really. Unless he does something, gets injured or whatever. What game was I looking up here? Oh, Florida and Bobrovsky and the Island and Capitals still haven't said who's going to be in. I'm thinking, I don't know. It seems like they think that they don't think Samsonov is there right now. They keep on putting in Vanacek, and that's why I'm leaning Florida. I think Spencer Knight rocks it, and they get a couple on either one of those goaltenders. Well, Jarvis is a winger, so Jarvis is better offensively for sure. Jarvis looks like a great looks like he's going to be fantastic offensively. But it's hard to say. Lundell, is playing down in the lineup right now, so he'll be playing wing in the. I'm almost positive Jarvis will be playing wing in the NHL. Almost positive. Yeah, I love Nietzsche's too. I've talked a lot about that. I really love Nietzsche's. His offense isn't coming like, but his defensively he's fantastic. We talked about the Pens and Flyers. The Flames and Stars. He's super fast, yeah. We talked about the Flames. What about the Stars? How are they? What are they? Do they have any? They're pretty healthy now. The Stars, and they did get their offense going a little bit last game, but they're coming up against a pretty confident Calgary team. It's Ropo Hintz 1 point in 9 games, man. That is surprising to me. I thought he would be way better than that early or this year. I mean, it's still early, but I've watched him and it looks like he's not focusing on offense enough. I know Suter has looked bad. Klingberg has been hurt. Yeah. They're going to put Hudobin in, who doesn't have great numbers right now either. Yeah, not with the puck. Maybe without the puck, but not with the puck. Oh, I see what you mean. Like if you gave him enough ice to get up to that speed. But I don't think so with the puck. I've never seen anybody have that kind of speed with the puck that McDavid does. Hamilton's injured right now, but he may be outscoring him, but Hamilton has been playing absolutely fantastic for New Jersey. He's been everything for them. I wouldn't say that. He's outscoring him, but as an overall defenseman, Hamilton is definitely better. As much as I like that D'Angelo move, Hamilton has been exceptional for New Jersey. Yeah, he has not looked good, man. Suter has looked behind the play. He hasn't looked good at all. Yeah, 4 years of that. I mean, he's not even as old as he's going to get on that contract, and he looks old already. Pretty crazy. Kraken versus the Sabres, and we just found out that Tokarski is in net for. I got to go with Seattle here. Sabres had a tough one against. I like their energy, but I think it's starting to fall a little bit there. The Eichel deal happening might, give them some energy, but it also could be very difficult because it's going to be heavy, very heavy media. Media is going to be around them quite a bit today. And Seattle's, they're 3-4-1. They want to do well for their new fans. They play hard. Sabres play hard too. But with Tokarski in net, I think they pull it out here. I think they pull it out. Gord has looked good there. Ever since Gord's been in, Seattle's looked like a much better team. Peyton Krebs won't be in the lineup. I told you he's got sent to the minors. I don't like that Schwartz. Oh, they got Schwartz, Wenberg, Donskoy, Tanev, Gord, Yarncroc, Donato, Geeky, Eberle. Yeah, that makes sense. Two big shooters on that line. All the guys. Donato just goes to the net. That's all Ryan Donato knows how to do, which is good, I guess. But defensively, he's a gong show. But he just goes to the net and let Geeky and Eberle keep on plugging shots at the net. You like the Sabres? I think it's going to be tough with Tokarski and Devondra. I'm not a big Tokarski guy. I love him as a human being, like a lot. Great human being, and I'm glad he's making an NHL contract. But he can let some softies in. He's got a good GPA so far, though. 1.93 and a .936, so... He's got a better goals against average and save percentage than Craig Anderson, actually. Maybe they can pull it off. They had a tough loss against San Jose where I thought they really didn't look all that good. They've been on the road a long time. You got the whole Eichel situation, which will be like a sigh of relief, but also, like I said, it could be a very busy day for a lot of them with media hanging around and all that stuff like that. And Seattle just has to focus on outworking Buffalo tonight. If Seattle can outwork Buffalo tonight with tired legs, and the one thing that they do well for sure is work, I could see them taking that game. Yeah, I think the Lightning take the Leafs. I just think their depth is going to do that. And Vasilevsky's looking way better now. Now that Vasilevsky, Campbell has looked shaky behind that defense. So, well, they already are doing that, right? They're already proving that they're good without Jack. But you got to remember, okay, look at it this way, Devondra. You got to look at like the narrative, as they like to say, or the story. They traded Jack Eichel and didn't get any players to fill the roster. That doesn't feel good as a player. You think, okay, most of these guys in the back of their minds, or maybe in the front of their minds, are thinking, oh, well, they're going to trade Eichel and we're going to have some more troops coming in to help us out and it's going to be great. And there's not one. Alex Tuck won't be ready for a couple months. Krebs they put down in the minors. So it's kind of a letdown. I think there's going to be kind of a letdown there. I think they were hoping that they were going to trade, like they've been working their bag off, winning games by working hard, doing what the coach says, and I just have a feeling they're not going to feel rewarded by this trade at the moment. I still think it was a good trade, but the message, no matter how much management tries to spin it as otherwise, the message is going to be, we're not worrying about right now. And that's kind of a kick to the gut to a team that's been busting their balls like they have the last little while. Now, that being said, Granato is a great coach, and he probably will identify this and deflect in it. Because the positive spin you can look at it is the way, if I'm a coach and I'm in the room, I'm going to say, look, he believes in you guys. Our general manager believes in you. He doesn't think you need more. You just need us to play our game. That's the spin that Granato's going to put on this. We can win with what we have. We've already shown it. And, build them up and make them feel good about themselves. But overall, and I think you can do that to a certain extent, but I still think in the back of their minds, these guys were thinking there was going to be some new blood coming into the lineup, and there's not. More like just a scorer or whatever they think they need. Like they definitely could use a scorer. So, yeah, so that could be tough. And with Seattle, they have no drama. Seattle has no drama right now. all they got is good feelings. They, you know, there's no pressure on them really. They can just go out and fun, try hard for their fans. You know, for the first year or so, the fans are just happy you're there. We're just happy to be there. You know, eventually that's going to all wear off. But right now, so I think the looser free team here is probably going to pull it off. I mean, Buffalo doesn't really have the talent to win just on talent alone. So we'll see. The caveat to me is that Granato, I think, is an exceptionally good coach, and he could get their mindset pointing in a direction that has them not focusing on the fact that they didn't get anything in return. So the Blues and the Sharks, I'm sticking with the Sharks right now. By the way, if you want to know all the picks I got, I just did a video. Go check it out. I'm sticking with the Sharks right now. I just like their energy, and the Blues are on a back-to-back. Maybe they're going to go Binnington. They did that to me once last year. They went Binnington back-to-back. But I don't think it worked well. I think they ended up losing the game. But Husso is out. Their backup is out. And they're holding out to say who the goaltender is going to be till the last second. So, which really ticks me off because I'd like to put an over in on this game. Well, guys, that's my full 42. That's all the games. We talked about Eichel. We talked about all the games from last night. We talked about the games tonight, rumors that are coming up, and how things are going to possibly go. Thanks for coming in. Like I said, I love having you guys here. It's awesome. It's so much fun. But I got to get going, and you got to get going. You go do what you got to do. I got to go what I got to do. We're going to watch some hockey and come back tomorrow and do it all over again. Friday tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Lots of love to you. Okay, bye.